But Elijah McCoy invented this device that allows the steam engine to be lubricated. So the steam engine conductor started to say, I want the real McCoy. I don't want an artificial device. And that's how the sort of real McCoy started coming into life. And the question for you and I, in our lives, are we the real McCoy? Are we authentic? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Yeah, I used to watch this program. Called Star Trek, and had this group called the Borg. And the Borg was about assimilation. What they would do is that they would capture you and they would make you a part of them, where your essence stopped being who and what you are. You stopped being that. You had to be what they were. And as believers, we find ourselves sometimes acting and responding to people and being who and what people think we should be. And we sometimes lose ourselves. Because instead of being who and what we are, we start to become a component of what other people think we should be. We start to look, walk, and act, our mannerisms, our actions, everything, instead of being who and what we are, we become what other people want we to be. We assimilate into them. And the most tragic thing for a human being is to totally assimilate into something that's not them. We do it in relationships. We do it in jobs. We do it in family situations. We do it in the body of believers. We allow ourselves to be usurped by other people, other places, and things. And so we sort of lose ourselves. You ever found yourself waking up in the morning one day, look in the mirror and say, who am I? Who am I? You've been molded and twisted and shaped. So you've now become what other people think you should be. You've lost your essence, and you've lost who you were meant to be. You're no longer authentic. You're no longer the real McCoy. You're no longer the real deal. You are what other people in the public think you should be. Because you desired so much to be a part of that group, because you desired that relationship so much, you have been assimilated into it. And you've lost who and what you are. And that happens to us as believers. And I'm going to say something that might make you a little bit uncomfortable. But oftentimes, people will use religion as an instrument to control other people. Yes. People will use religion as an instrument to control other people, just to sort of be able to manipulate them, to coerce them, just to make them into what they want to be so they can benefit. And that isn't started today. That's been going on for eons of time. And that's why this little situation between Paul and Peter is so important. Because what happens is that, and just to give you the setting before we get into it, there's a conversation that happens between Peter and Paul in Galatians chapter 2, verses 11 and 16. Because what has happened is that, Paul has gone around planting churches, planting seeds. He's going around establishing these churches. And Paul established these churches purely on the message of Jesus Christ, that the just shall live by faith. And that what that means is that you are justified by your faith, not by no Mosaic code, not by no Jewish code, but your faith in Jesus Christ justifies you and justifies God's grace and mercy, and that is what allows you to go to heaven.
We want to thank you for being with us today. If this message has been a blessing to you and your family, we encourage you to make a donation to keep this broadcast on air. You can make your donations by going to Bethesda ApostolicHouseOfPrayer.com on our secure website, or Givelify app, where you can make your donation to keep this broadcast on the air. Please remember, your tithes go to your local church, but your offerings can go to where you're being fed. And as we continue on our journey, remember this. 2 Corinthians 5 and 7 tells us that we walk by faith, not by sight.